going live here on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll try not to ignore you guys. And we're live on 2 different places. I'm with you here on YouTube, but we have another camera set up here, streaming live to my Facebook. The link is in the description of this YouTube. And thank you guys for being so active on my Facebook. A lot of crazy things has happened since we came here. And if you saw that last vlog on my YouTube channel, you'd see why we came here. Maybe you can grab it.
Okay, here. It's
behind
me.
I got it. It's behind
there.
you. So I'll show it to Facebook.
To Manak Nation and Facebook.
And we got it here. So I was inducted into the State Hall of Fame for wrestling. And
yay!
it was all working out in God's time, because I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. I've never been so happy to not be in the Philippines. And that's for a few different reasons. Number one is obviously everything that's going on right now with the lockdown in the Philippines. America here, too, is mostly under, it seems like, martial law. But we're very blessed because in the Midwest, in places like North Dakota, we actually don't have things so bad compared to much of the country. I think, like, especially places like Michigan, where they're basically doing a total lockdown where you can't even go from one house to the next. It's that strict. But here in North Dakota, everything has been actually mostly pretty good, considering our economy's being destroyed. So I feel like I have ADHD because I'm trying to bounce back and forth between the Facebook and the YouTube. But we see the comments coming in now on YouTube. We have lots of commenters and lots of viewers over here on Facebook. Thank you guys for blowing up my Facebook page over the past year. Gained such a big followers. I'm glad you guys have liked those memes that I've been sharing. But we want to do this live stream, and it's been, I think, a couple of years since we did a live stream here on YouTube.
It's been ages since we did a live stream on YouTube. I've been seeing comments already on YouTube too, and I saw one saying, "What's up, Imabel from Digital Fanboy?" We're good, thank God. Hope you guys are doing well despite, the current crisis the world is facing.
Yeah,
Thank God.
Things are mostly good here in North Dakota. Like I said, Michigan, I think, maybe has it the worst in the country from what it sounds like. So, but things are mostly good. Hopefully, God willing, the economy comes out okay, because unfortunately, obviously, what's happened is it's like the government chose what businesses to keep open and which ones to shut down. And this is probably going to kill a lot of small businesses, unfortunately. And then we're going to end up with this society where all we have is large corporations. So Walmart right now and Amazon, they're doing huge businesses, but all these other small shops, they're shut down. So they might go out of business. And then in the future, as they move towards, of course, that cashless society where, and if you don't have cash, you really don't have freedom, where they can track you and you're not allowed, they have access to your money. They'll say, well, if you don't agree to our terms, whether that's letting Bill Gates inject you with a vaccination that you may or may not want, or whatever, having those digital certificates that you're going to have to carry around, or maybe getting a computer implant, getting a microchip inserted into you. They'll say, well, you can't shop at Walmart, you can't shop at Amazon, because they'll have these cashless societies, and they'll have just a few corporations that control everything. And we've already seen this happening over the past few years. If you say something on the internet that is maybe an unpopular opinion or goes against the agenda, they will cancel your bank account. So there's some scary stuff, but it's been kind of strange because it's like, I'm reading the comments here coming from Facebook. It's been kind of strange because we do know that a lot of people around the world, this is a very tough time, a very stressful time, of course, and we're praying for everyone, especially people in third world countries around the world that maybe aren't at our level of comfort, because, as I was saying, I've never been so happy to not be in the Philippines. It's because, man, I can't imagine being in that lockdown there now. It's much better to be here at my parents' house, but thankfully, I flew here for a different reason. I flew here because I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's like it was all God's perfect timing.
Well, like what I tell my friends whenever I talk to them, your induction in the Hall of Fame, Wrestling Hall of Fame of North Dakota, has been a very timely blessing. But the truth is, like what I've been sharing with you, before you flew here, I already had a feeling that something like this could happen. I think you also felt the same way,
Well, I was
right?
getting this feeling like when we were leaving our apartment that we might not be coming back here. That was the feeling I was getting. And I didn't think it would necessarily be because of this, because obviously who could have predicted this? This is unprecedented in the history of the United States. But it's not just the United States, it's a whole worldwide thing. Of course, back in the Philippines, talking to all you guys there, hearing how hard it is. If you're in the Philippines, tell me how life is for you right now. I would imagine it's different if you're in a big city like Manila versus a provincial area, a more rural area. So if you're in the Philippines, let us know. Elvis Amistad, Earl, or EA, yeah, Earl, I guess. We got Tanner there. It's funny because I have a new video coming out on my YouTube channel tomorrow, which it's going to cover a lot of stuff. It's going to cover kind of the stuff that we were doing, you'll see, before this lockdown started, before all this craziness and this panic started. And so you'll see us going to parties, you'll see us going to a football game. It's going to be a really cool vlog, but then you're going to see after all this happens. So stick around tomorrow. I'll probably air that as a premiere on my channel so we can talk to you guys live. Chris DeBona. Chris is on the Facebook. Are you also watching on YouTube? Like I said, we have this set up kind of in an awkward way.
Yeah,
we probably should have focused on one or the other.
On Facebook Live, Christelle May M. Vilyasin said the lockdown is extended until May 15 and there is still no mass testing. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Christelle. Actually, I
heard that. You told me that the other day.
I also check, updates from different sources, from friends in the Philippines, because I want to know what's happening in the Philippines, my home country, of course.
If we were there, we would be shoved into our apartment. Here we get to go outside, go for walks every day, get out in the sunshine. And I was just looking at something yesterday. I don't really pay attention too much to a lot of this stuff because I'm kind of sick of hearing about it. But they say that it doesn't survive well outdoors, especially in sunshine. But we've been going out in the sun every day. We've been taking Kay for walks. We go out for
walks, which is really a great blessing.
Pushing them around in a stroller.
Yeah, if we were in the Philippines, we wouldn't be able to get out of our unit even. So we're just very thankful. But you know what, guys? Whatever difficulties people are experiencing now, let's just always remember that, this is what I always remember. I hope you always remember this, that God is in control, and whatever the evil, plans to do for the bad of the people, God has a way to make that good, to turn that into good.
And if you've ever seen that movie, the classic film with Mel Gibson, The Road Warrior, who knows, man? Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but it's good to be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Even if you just have like a crossbow, and you can get these little crossbows I've been checking out that seem to be pretty good, but that would be pretty handy too. So you don't you can get kind of creative with this. Or, if there's ever a food shortage, which could happen if the trucking shuts down, if you have to go out and hunt an animal. So, laging handa, that's my motto, which means
always prepared.
Yep, always prepared.
Yes.
You hear that?
These days it's like we better
laging handa.
Yes, laging handa. These days I think it's best to be ready, be prepared for the best, and be prepared for the worst. Let's see. Do you want to read comments from YouTube?
I'm trying to look at these comments from YouTube. A big hello, Mr. Crafton family. We hope all is safe with everyone. We pray for you here in the lockdown. But I am the only one who can go out and get grocery supplies in case
Oh, yeah. Thank you, our Philippine world, for that comment. That's true, because in the Philippines, only one person is allowed to go out to go to the grocery, do the basic activity yeah, like groceries. What else? Maybe to buy medicine and all that. So
Yeah, and like I said, we're so happy we're there. We appreciate the prayers too, because that's if you want to support your creator, there's so many things you could do. Of course, we're here on YouTube Live, where you can give us a super chat. You can support us through Patreon to help do what we're doing. Or if if money's an issue for you, you can share. If you really like something a creator does, share their content. That's huge. Spread the word about them. But also, like, on another level, just praying for us, we appreciate that too.
well,
I'll just say one thing.
Go ahead.
Because prayer, this is something I've discovered, prayer is not this passive thing. Prayer actually creates change. I don't know the science behind it, I don't know how it works, but prayer actually creates change. So, pray, and there's different ways you can pray. Of course, ask and you shall receive. It's okay to ask questions. But for me, a lot of the time, prayer time is really just a time to give thanks, a time of thanksgiving, and say what I appreciate and say, thank you, God, for giving me this. Thank you, God, for all that you're giving me in the future, all you're doing for me. Just the way that he made everything work out and timed everything perfect where, I got to go to the United States because they're inducting me into the Hall of Fame for wrestling. So because of that, we were doing that. And we came over just like as things were starting to break. When we were on the plane flying over, I think that we were the only people that, well, if you saw that last vlog, which you should have, and the link is in the description of the YouTube stream here. If you saw that last video, we were the only people on the plane, at least flying to Korea, we were the only people that didn't have face masks on.
Right? I can't remember what I was going to say.
I'm trying to read the comments here now. I think I missed a lot over here on Facebook.
I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. Anyways, you could say hi to you know what? We would love to send a shout out to all of you on Facebook and YouTube, but the comments are really running so fast.
I think in the future what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna decide, okay, we're either streaming on YouTube or Facebook, but not at the same time. Because it's hard to go back and forth and read the comments and such.
That's true.
So I'm trying to read the...
Well, now I remember. Can I say something, Travis?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I saw somewhere there saying that it's not really what's happening now. It's not crisis, but a hoax. I can't remember who left that comment on YouTube. But whatever is happening, happy times, sad times, bad times, good times, like what Travis said, we should always pray. Pray for Thanksgiving. Just pray for every single thing, every single blessing we receive. And prayer and faith are really very strong weapons that we have. You don't need money to have that. So let's use that, and they're very powerful. Do you agree?
Yeah, and as someone said, it's a hoax. Well, what's going on, this thing that's going around, it's definitely not a hoax. People are suffering from it, so I don't want to belittle it. Mm-hmm. But definitely people are suffering because they can't get money, they can't work, their businesses are going to close, they might not have a job to go back to. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know about you guys, if you're in the United States, did you get that stimulus money yet deposited in your bank account? I haven't gotten a penny of that, and my parents I don't think have either. And we have another friend that we just talked to on the phone. I don't think he got any stimulus money yet from the government that they promised. So obviously, but that should be a life lesson, because if you're counting on the government to help you, well, you're probably up the creek. You're probably done for. It's a hopeless cause. If there's anything I knew even before this, you can't count on the government to save you. They're not going to be your savior, your messiah. If you have that attitude, well, you're just done for.
Okay, there are two comments that I was trying to remember, because the comments are really moving so fast.
You can scroll down.
Yeah, but Genius Pino on Facebook says, it's good to see you both doing a live stream after so long. Thank you that you're joining us after a long time. We're back on live streaming. And on YouTube, Someone said, Travis, have you ever considered running for office? I think you can win. That's from I Need You Help, Frank.
Well, that's a great question. Have I ever considered running from... Someone says they did get their stimulus money.
Yeah, that's Jamie Espino said. Yeah, good for you.
I know a lot of people have gotten that, but it seems, I don't know if more have not gotten it yet. But anyways, have I ever considered running for office? Well, I think I could do a lot of good because especially in local politics, meaning North Dakota, I've been paying attention the past couple of years, even though I haven't been here until now. But I don't like a lot of the things people are doing. Who knows? Maybe I could win. If I didn't win, I think I'd at least shake things up a bit and force the people that are currently in office to answer some very tough questions, because I don't want to share all my political beliefs on this channel. I have a second channel actually, which I don't promote here and I don't tell you guys about, though it's easy to find, because I do say a lot of things that are hard truths that I think some people need to hear. And some people that follow me on this main YouTube channel, and I'm way more active on my second channel these days. I post several times a week typically to my second YouTube channel. But some people that watch this, they found in, they're like, man, we hate you. You're a jerk. Because I say some harsh things, quite frankly, though I feel they're warranted, and I feel there's no other way to say them. And then a few people that watch this main channel, they found my second channel, they said, wow, we love this side of you. I didn't know you were like this. Like, right on, man. You're awesome. And it makes people love me more than ever. So if you see my second channel, you're either going to love me or you're going to hate me. It's kind of divisive content. But I'm more active there because it's more freeing. I can say things more that I talk about things that I'd like to talk about, but I think I haven't really answered that question. Would I run for office? Probably not, because politics, of course, is such a dirty business. But certainly our leaders, whether it's on the federal level or state level, boy, we got a lot of weirdos out there, and they're only out there for themselves. And they're definitely not loyal to our country, many of them, whether they're Republican or Democrat, by the way. We were just watching this commercial last night where they had a former governor talking about how we should be sending our money to Israel. It's weird because that's a foreign country. He pledges his loyalty to a foreign country, but what about our country? And if we are going to, would he say that about any other country in the world? Would he say that about the Philippines? Would he say that about Russia? Would he say that about Germany? Britain's probably realistically our closest ally. But they pander to one small country, and that buys off our politicians, and don't even get me started, man. But that's the stuff I talk about more on the second channel.
I was going to say something about what you were just saying, but let me send a shout out to my Facebook friend who is watching, Miss Lydia Lee Camilla. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. We're also live on YouTube. So we look at this camera and then we look at this camera, because we're doing it on both, and this is our first time to do both at the same time. Christopher DeBona said both channels are awesome.
He does watch my second channel.
Thank you for that.
Actually, and he likes it. He's one of the people that like it.
Speaking of running for office, if I'll answer that for Travis, I think it'll be best if Travis focuses on what God blessed him with, that is like his ministry, and that would include you guys and the Monak Nation. So, I think that will be good for now.
And here's a good comment here on YouTube. Ha ha ha, you said prayer is a strong weapon. When the looters and rioters are overrunning your home, you can keep your prayers, and I'll be with my two friends, Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson. Well, why not pray that God gets you a good deal on something that you can use? Or, dear Lord, make me a good, accurate shot. How about that? Just an idea. It doesn't have to be one or the other. In fact, it should be both. So, there you go. That's some food for thought. That's an idea. Dear Lord, please make me a good shot. Make me accurate.
Okay, speaking of, I was gonna
Austin
say,
says, Austin Mercado, take care. Take your out. Raymond, hey Travis, I hope someday that God touches you and you get to come to service to service Arizona and see what it's like watching YouTube's. Well, thank you very much. God has definitely touched us. Like I said, we're here in perfect timing. Not only that, but in the new vlog tomorrow that I'm going to be uploading to YouTube, you'll see that I even got a camera that I wasn't even expected when mine broke. Mine broke, and it was old. It was having a lot of issues, and then without even asking, I got provided with a new camera. So thanks God for the new camera. But you'll see that
Amen.
that's part of what you'll see in the next vlog that I'm gonna try and upload tomorrow.
On Facebook, Austin Mercado said, take care, Tito and Tita. Take care, ikaw din. Mag-ingat ka rin, Austin. And, okay, do you want to read a comment on YouTube?
I'm trying to see here. They're going by. Someone says you should run for office. Yeah, I'd be probably more supportive if Imabel ran for office. Maybe in some ways that would make sense. She's more of a politician than me in terms of she can soften her message so it's not so harsh. Me, I'm just a guy that hits you with blunt force and says whatever I feel. I don't try and necessarily make it sound nice.
Well, I think that's what they call diplomacy. But
Yeah, exactly. That's what she
yeah,
has.
yeah. When I was still working for ABS-CBN, I worked full time for Kapamilya Network, there for Facebook, for Manak Nation and Facebook Live, and on YouTube, of course. And whenever I would have this conversation with friends, or even if I got asked by people I work with, they would ask me, what would you prefer, to be in politics or showbiz? I used to say I would rather be in showbiz, because in politics it's really more dangerous, and you know just like in the Philippines, or even like in I don't want to mention, I guess, the place, but they are shootings which are politically motivated. I guess it happens anywhere. But right now, neither. I would not consider politics nor showbiz. I'm already happy just doing what I have to do for my family, for my friends, and helping Travis, supporting him, and also for you guys.
Francis Neal says, notice me, you're noticed. Ruben says, what's up from Fort Worth? Greetings to the great state of Texas.
What time is it there now? Do we have the same time? Central time? Is it Central time there?
Yeah. They might have more than one time zone.
Right, 'cause
we
it's
have more
really
than
big.
one time zone
Yeah,
actually
that's true.
here in North Dakota.
Yeah.
So,
John Jacob said, Sir, full volume ako pero di ko pa rin marinig.
Sorry.
Bakit? Sorry about that.
these other guys seem to be hearing us. Like we have my mom's
Yes.
iPad set up off over here, and then we have my laptop here streaming to YouTube.
I mean, let's see. I don't know. The volume. How about you guys on Facebook? Do you hear us well? Claro ba?
Vincent Baramamio, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, said
Borromeo. Vincent Borromeo.
UKPM made a wrong move venturing into a joint venture with communist China. Well, some might say that about the Vatican.
Which one is this? I'm trying to look. Okay.
Some might say that about the Vatican, speaking of the whole one world government that they're trying to move towards in the cashless society.
Yeah, these things. Go ahead, you first.
Well, there you go, Pope Francis.
These things that you are just bringing up on the comment section and stuff, this reminds me of the movies that we just watched recently. If you guys could watch them, go watch them, since you have all the time. Left Behind. There's a few different versions of Left Behind, but the versions we watched, which I like, both of them anyways. One was Left Behind with Kirk Cameron, which is older, and Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. The one with Kirk Cameron, I think I like better, because it's more.
Yeah, I do like it because it gets into the New World Order. The one with Nicolas Cage, it's more of a disaster film, I would say.
And if you watch Left Behind with Kirk Cameron, you will have a better understanding, I think, of things that are going around. So
Raymond here says, I like the sports car you show off. Thank you. We'll have a brief look at it in the next vlog, which should be going up tomorrow. But yeah, that's my Trans Am. It's still a lot of fun to drive. I don't see any other cars on the road like that, and it's kind of funny. Younger people, I think even older people, because they've kind of forgotten those, because you just don't see those anymore. But younger people especially, because mine is in such good shape, and if you do see one, you don't see it in that good a shape. A lot of people, they think it's like this imported European sports car, this European exotic or whatever. But because they haven't seen something like that. If you're 20 years old, 25 years old, you might not remember, because you don't see those cars on the road anymore, especially in that kind of shape. So they really had the styling down back then. I mean, that's why they were a perfect choice for Knight Rider too. But now you see cars, even high-end exotic European cars like Ferraris and even the current Lamborghinis, they just look like a blob. They look like some dough that you'd put on the pan and put in the oven, and they just come out and they're just kind of rounded like a big blob. They don't have that sex appeal, those sexy curves and such that cars have. But cars are kind of like women.
I know. Well, thank you on Facebook. Thank you guys for letting us know that the audio is good. It's working well. And ano ulit yung pangalan mo who said na hindi mo kami marinig even when it's already full volume on your end? I'm really sorry. Wish we could help you.
Maybe there's something wrong on your end, because other people are saying it's good on theirs.
Or maybe, are you using an earphone? Maybe just you don't use the earphone. Just use, the sound directly from your phone or something.
Digital Fanboy says, World Trade Center is the movie, right, starring Nicolas Cage? No, Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. Like, there's older ones with Kirk Cameron, and they've had some other ones with other people, but there's a Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. We actually saw that in the theaters in the Philippines.
Yes.
But we saw a couple movies last night. We saw this movie from 1944 called The Hairy Ape, starring William Bendix. And then we saw this movie on TV as we were going to bed, but we stayed up late to watch it, which was a great movie. It's I don't want to give away the movie. It's called Courageous, but it's about, basically, like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but this is the one thing I'll tell you, is it's about fatherhood. It's about being a good dad, and this is a movie that's very touching. It has lots of touching scenes, especially if you're a father, but also it has things that, it's a movie that you can really learn stuff from. And it's not a movie, I've never seen a movie like this before. It's not a big budget movie. There's no famous actors in this movie, but this movie, Courageous. And there's so many people like that I see listening to Jordan Peterson, and he's trying to be, I think, a father figure to all these people all over the world that watch his YouTube videos, but I have a lot of issues with him. If you watch my second channel, you'll know, even though I well, I'm not going to get into that, but they'll watch it, these people, they'll watch a 2-hour video from Jordan Peterson, and a lot of these people, they didn't have a father growing up. Their dad abandoned them. They have daddy issues. And he's like this father figure, and he's telling people that they need to clean their room. Meanwhile, this guy's drugged out of his mind, total drug addict. And I'm not saying that he doesn't give good advice. Most motivational speakers do. That's why they get these followings. But he tells people to clean their room. Meanwhile, he's a mess, this guy, in his personal life, and his daughter, she's a mess. She's trying to be an e-thought online. She's trying to show off her cleavage and all this, and show off her body. And I can understand showing off your body since she does diet stuff if you want to show off, but it's like I was telling my wife, it's different posting a photo in a swimsuit versus posting one in underwear. It's kind of a different thing. And then showing off the cleavage, what's that got to do with diet? Because if you're trying to help people lose weight through diet, when women lose weight, their boobs get smaller. You're not going to be puffing, you're not going to have much to show off. If women that are really lean, like these female bodybuilders that get shredded abs and stuff, they lose all their boobs because boobs are made of fat tissue. Maybe that was a bit much for some people.
Okay, let's go back to the movie.
What's this comment? I can't see it.
Let's just 1 minute. I've been seeing posts on Facebook like asking for recommendations on what movies to watch. Watch Courageous. It's a very good movie to watch with your family or with your friends. It's really full of lessons that could inspire you and whoever
Which
will
one is
watch
this?
it.
Left
Courageous.
Courageous, yeah.
Yes, sobra. Panoorin niyo yung Courageous. I was blessed. You were blessed. You were blessed by the movie after watching it. That's why
I gotta watch again. I want to
Yeah.
buy it and I want to give it to people as gift. Give them the DVD
Yeah.
or
yeah.
Blu-ray or whatever
have-
they have. Give it out as a
Right.
gift.
I have long wanted to watch that movie, and finally early this morning, that was like 3 a.m. I think, we got to see it on TV. So going back to the comment on Facebook they wanted to read from Thomas George, how is the weather there? It's raining hard here in Kentucky. So
I have an aunt that's from Kentucky.
yeah, but how's the weather here? Thomas is asking.
The weather here has been pretty good the past few days anyway. Is
Yes.
over 70 a couple days, so pretty good.
Yes, we're so thankful that we get to go out for walks with our baby. And yes, we observe social distancing, and it's so
Which is easy to do here.
to social distance here. So that's another reason to be thankful for.
And Christopher, I'll get to a couple comments here on YouTube. Christopher DeBona, are you going to be getting back into more regular live streams and vlogs with the downtime?
What do you think, Christopher?
Hope all is well with your parents and grandpa. Well, thank you. Maybe we'll do more live streams on Facebook. Like I said, next time we're going to either do Facebook or YouTube, not both at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't know right now. Like I said, I'm much more active on my second channel, and maybe if I build that up a bit, I would probably rather just do live streams there. Let me see here.
Evan Cortez. Hi, Evan. How are you? I hope you and your family are doing well.
Raymond asks, do you still work out in the gyms? Yes, not only that, but Imabel, who hadn't worked out for almost 2 years in a gym, she just started a week ago, so she's been working out for a week. We're working out in Kraft's gym. That's one gym that's still open, Kraft's gym. If you watch the previous vlog, you'll see the t-shirt for it. But yep, we're training really hard, actually. At least I am. Training hard and eating big, so I've been bulking. Vincent says, how long have you been in Manila now? Well, I'm not in Manila right now. You got to watch the previous video to see where I went and why I went there.
You have to do some catching up. But that's the only one video you could watch. That should be quick.
Evan Cortez says, Evan Cortez, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he's my longest consistent viewer that's been watching, and whatever kind of video I've done throughout the years, whatever it's about, he's watched, he's commented on most of them. Probably he's been watching on my YouTube channel, I'm guessing about 8 years, maybe 9 years even. Mm-hmm. But he says, how are things in North Dakota? Are there lots of COVID deaths there? Nope. And I read in the newspaper the other day that there's only been 62 hospitalizations for the entire state. In fact, if you want to say a prayer for someone, the lady across the street, she's having financial problems because she's a nurse and she's been furloughed. They don't have any work for her because all around the country they're laying off nurses actually because they stopped treating other things, even some serious things, just to focus on this thing. But here we go in North Dakota. As of the other day, the newspaper said there's only been 62 hospitalizations in the entire state. That's the entire state, not just Bismarck here. And it's funny because at the university in town here, University of Mary, the field house where they normally have athletic competitions, they put all these cots in there because they were planning for when the hospitals are overflowing with patients from this, they're going to put them there, but the place has been sitting empty for weeks. And like I said, as of the other day, there's only been 62 for the entire state of North Dakota. That's statewide. Like I said, not city, that's the state. And like I said, like our neighbor, she's going through some hardships, as are many people around the world, but because she doesn't have work, I think she's worked 5 days in like 5 weeks, something like that. My mom was saying it was something like that. But that's not enough work for her to get by and pay her bills and do all that stuff. So you can pray for the nurse across the street because she's out of work.
Or all nurses like her. That makes me wonder because I got to watch a press conference of President Duterte, and I'm not sure when that was. Monak Nation,
You can scroll down
who
so
are
you can
in the
get new
Philippines.
comments.
If did you see that press conference of President Duterte that where he mentioned that Philippines or U.S. needs more nurses from the Philippines or something like that? When just like here in North Dakota,
Yeah.
they don't really need more nurses. I guess in other states, maybe that's
Not
the
now.
case.
Like I said, there's not
I'm not
enough
sure.
work for the nurses they have. So I would imagine if there's any Filipino nurses that want to come over and work in America, it's probably a bad time. Like I said, this isn't just North Dakota. All around the country, I've heard most hospitals are empty and all these nurses are being laid off. So, and we definitely know someone that's telling my mom that's the story with her. Like I said, I think she only worked like 5 days in 5 weeks. So,
Well, if you think of people to pray for, we will not run out of people on to pray for. So
someone says in New York, New Jersey, nurses sign contracts for 10,000 per week, over 500,000 per year. How could that be? How could
what's
they
that
get
again?
paid
Which
that
one
much?
is this?
I mean, I don't know, but that's what someone's saying in the room.
In
like,
New
but
York?
so they're really
Well,
really extremely wealthy people. Then
I
if they're
guess
making
maybe because
10,000 a week,
maybe because there's a higher risk. Is this just for this COVID-19 pandemic, or
I think
even
that's
before
before
that?
that. Because
Oh.
they're probably not hiring nurses now.
Um,
I heard even from a nurse in New York City that
I
said,
think they're really well paid because I remembered my.
but that's rich if you're getting 10,000
I
a week.
remember someone.
That's over 500,000 pesos
a
per
nurse
week.
in the oh, I remember tutoring. I had to tutor a nurse in the Philippines who no medical technologist. She worked in the Philippines as a medical technologist for a long time. She actually held a high position in her department that time already, but she needed to take what's that exam again?
I have no idea.
TOEFL or yeah. Anyways, you guys would know what that is. So she needed some English tutorial, and then she told me that the salary in New York is really high, and that's where she was gonna move with her family to work as a medical technologist.
Well, I heard from a nurse in New York City, where in America, that's where most of the issues are. She said, yeah, we definitely have patients in there for this, but actually we're less busy than usual because they cut everything off. So, and even like I said, including some very needed pressing surgeries and things like that, some other from some pressing care that people need for other issues, they're saying, yeah, you can't come in right now. So they in New York, she said, yeah, we definitely have people in the hospital for this, but it's less busy actually than normal because they cut off it. They're not letting people come in for anything else. So, but I don't know. That's just what I heard. Let me see here. Christelle says on YouTube, unfortunately here in the Philippines, frontliners are not paid well, and the government isn't even looking for volunteer nurses. Yeah, like I said, when we pray for people around the world that have things less fortunate and are less comfortable than us, they do the same work that nurses in New York do, probably, and they're paid a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction. So yeah, that's the thing. Raymond says, yeah, I lost my job after the virus hit. Miss my work very much. Well, good news. I think a lot of states are going to start opening up even within like the next week. So, and let's see here. Someone says something in Spanish. Hola. We don't understand Spanish. Sorry. Hopefully you said something nice though. That comment down there. Hopefully you said something nice. I'm just going to assume it was telling us how good looking we are and how well spoken we are.
I don't think so. Hola Furia desde Argentina. Los saludos. Dios los bendiga siempre. Siempre. Thank you.
So God, something Dios is God. Argentina.
Let me
I
say,
take it with something
Travis,
nice.
on Facebook, let me say hi. Send a shout out to Pastor Peter Loosemore. Thank you for joining us. Hope you guys are doing well in Australia.
Christelle says, "Where is Cade? I suppose you could bring."
Cade was playing when.
I can go check to see where he
Should
is.
I go?
I can go. Like, do you want to hold it down?
Okay. Well, guys, for you guys who just started watching this live stream, just a heads up. We are live streaming on YouTube, also doing Facebook Live. So we look at this camera for Facebook and we look at this camera for YouTube. So please don't feel like we're not looking at you, we're not talking to you when we are not looking at the camera.
Kate is sleeping.
For you.
Kate is sleeping on Grandma. Grandma's in the rocking chair out in the living room.
Okay.
And
That's why it has been quiet. Because Kate has been really... He has become talkative, more playful, and just... Oh, well. Just, he's a source of joy, great joy, thank God.
Vincent says, I've been following the pandemic. John Hopkins' website. The numbers are too high. I'm beginning to think these are being inflated for a greater reason the public do not know. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about that the numbers are inflated. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people are suffering from this, of course, but there's a lot of belief that the numbers of deaths, at least, are greatly inflated. They're counting people that, like, if for instance, if I tested positive for this, then I get in my car and I crash my car and I die, they'll count that as a COVID related death or death by COVID. I've heard things like that if you test positive,
that's
or there's
good.
people they're
or
just assuming, well, we didn't test them, so we kind of have to assume this person died.
Or if say a person has one of the many symptoms of what COVID-19 is, they might count that as COVID-19 positive, which is not good, right?
I've been getting sick of hearing about this, though. Like, for the past weeks, I don't even watch the news too much about it. I mean, you can't help but see some of it. But I'm very excited for that video coming out tomorrow to my YouTube channel, the new vlog. Because, like I said, it'll show like the before and kind of the after. But after, here in North Dakota, we've been very blessed to have things pretty good. If you're going to be in America now, I think the Midwest, I heard there's only 8 states that are not under these tighter, more severe lockdowns, and they're all pretty much in the middle. Arkansas is one there in the south, but the rest are mostly in the middle. Wyoming has almost none of it, I think.
Really?
Has almost no cases, no deaths or something
Good
from
for
this.
them, yeah.
So, yeah, good time to be in Wyoming, good time to be in North or South Dakota. What's funny, though, is the governor of Minnesota, he's always prided himself on being a sanctuary state, meaning, oh, you can come into to America illegally from any country. It doesn't matter if it's Mexico, Somalia, any country in the world. If you come in illegally, we'll protect you here. We're a sanctuary state. But then lately he's been talking about, we need to close off our border with North Dakota and South Dakota because they don't have tight restrictions. And you think about what a joke that is, what clown world this is. He will let in people that have God knows what disease coming from God knows where. If they're illegally, he will if they're in the country illegally, he'll protect those people. Then someone like me from North Dakota, he's worried about us because we have less restrictions here. I mean, the whole thing's a big joke.
Well, whatever you just said, what crossed my mind is this, when you brought up that thing, is, many officials in a government in the U.S., they advocate legal immigrants to be well taken care of, right? And these illegal immigrants enjoy all these perks while they're in America. Meanwhile, non-Americans like Filipinos like me who are trying to go or to come to America, we have to go through a very long, tedious process, and on top of that, a very expensive, process. So hopefully that could be fair, but when we talk about politics, that's another thing.
Maybe because it's hard to bounce back and forth, maybe we can end it here on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, you can jump over to my YouTube channel and catch the rest of this, and
we could do that.
I'll let you sign off of there, and then we can just focus on this.
Okay.
It was too much for me to try and bounce by, and when I lean in here, I see my face cuts off of there, but hopefully this is going smoothly. We haven't did a live stream for quite a while, and we used to live stream, I think, about once a week. One of our live streams, and this was our anniversary live stream, it got like 42,000 views. Mm-hmm. Now that was at the... What?
Hold your thought. Do you want me to stop now on Facebook Live?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, well...
You guys, so these guys can go over to our YouTube channel.
Okay, before we do that, maybe you want to say bye-bye to Monoc Nation, especially those who won't be able to access YouTube for the live stream.
Well, Monoc Nation, if you can't watch the rest of this on YouTube, like that we're going to be finishing up here, go there, watch my previous vlog. We'll have a new vlog coming out tomorrow, but you want to see the previous one first. So head over to my YouTube channel when you get a chance.
Right. Thank you, Monoc Nation, and all my friends who joined us on Facebook Live. So you can switch to YouTube on our live stream right now. God bless you all.
So, now I forgot what the heck I was saying.
Go ahead.
No, I forgot what was I saying. I was going to say something important.
I'm sorry. Can we try to go back to that?
If you guys want to type in the room and tell me whatever I was talking about, I don't remember now because I got distracted there.
Oops, how do I do this? Okay. There you go.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about the live streams. Like, we used to live stream about once a week. We'd do it like a live radio show and interact with people. One of them got 42,000 views on YouTube. And that's mind-blowing. Now, that was when my channel here was at the peak of its popularity. I was producing content regularly. Like I said, on my second channel, I'm much more active there because it's very freeing and I don't have to do like such a set format, and I can talk about things that might offend people that watch my videos here, although there's other people here that would love what I say on my second channel. But yeah, that was back when this channel was much more active and when it was more popular. And now I don't really upload here much, though. I upload to my Facebook fan page probably about once a day, and I try and upload to the community page here on YouTube about once a day. But those were great. This one I might make private later because we're talking about current issues here, but it'd be fun if we went back and listened to some of our old live streams. I noticed here that YouTube, though, if you want to go out for a walk or whatever and listen to something, which I don't usually do, but in the Philippines, and I think this feature is only available in certain countries, you can save the video offline on YouTube. That way, if you're out and you don't have access to internet, you can still watch the video. We get to America, they don't have that here. So I guess that's only available in certain countries, I think mostly in Asia.
Well, thankfully we have that in the Philippines.
Ransu says, Palua collab. Well, I did one with him. Maybe in the future, when the dust settles from everything that we're doing, we might be going to Taiwan when some of this silliness is over. Maybe we'll take Dad to Taiwan.
That would be good.
For a potential
by God's
business
amazing
thing.
grace.
Yeah.
With all the crazy things going on.
So, Vincent says, nice chatting with you. Feel like we are friends already. Gotta go. Kakayan na daw.
Oh, enjoy.
He must
Bon
be,
appetit.
must be breakfast.
What time
there.
is it? In the Philippines,
Must be
it should be
breakfast
around
where he is.
9:43, right? 9:43 a.m.
But like I said, hopefully everyone's doing well. You can leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how things are going for you. like I said, it's been so weird because we know that this is a very tough and stressful time for so many people, and we worry about people getting food, even us in the future. Like I said, what if things turn into Road Warrior and we have to fight over food and resources, things like that? Thankfully, truckers have still been going back and forth, even though we've had some bare shelves in the grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
Those truckers, man, they don't get the credit they deserve.
True.
They're keeping us alive,
They're
basically.
also frontliners. All these who make food supply.
Probably the most important people in our country right now, possibly the farmers and the truckers and all these people. They're like keeping the supply chain going, because without that, we're up the creek. So God bless those people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Christelle said, I hope sometime you can do live while going out for a walk in there. I just miss being outside, haha.
We don't have internet.
We don't have, when we go out for walks, we don't have internet access, so wish we could do that. But maybe another vlog could feature that, so that's a good idea. I'm sorry about that, Christelle. I feel you. Whenever we go out for walks, it's really a very refreshing feeling that I get, just seeing beautiful houses around, just seeing the beautiful blue sky above us, and
it's great. Yeah, getting out in the fresh air, the sunshine.
On my Facebook, I
pushing
have,
Kate around in a stroller.
I have mentioned on my Facebook posts that going out for walks here is so refreshing. And one thing that I love is that the neighbors would say hi to you, or even like strangers in their cars who that drive by, they would nod or wave at you just to say hi. They're really very friendly. The people here in Bismarck are really very, very nice. And I know
very friendly place
very
here.
Friendly, just like us Filipinos, like what they say. Okay.
Ray from New Jersey. Hi, Ray. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope everything's working out for you. We're praying for you. Let me see here. We got Central Florida watching. Someone says I skipped their comment. Sorry, I think that's when I was trying to bounce back and forth between two different live streams. John Doe asks, are churches open in North Dakota? The answer to that is no. Most of them are doing online services.
Yes, so thank God for online services. I'm looking forward to that for tomorrow.
We got Ransu from Manila, Philippines. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing over there in the Philippines? Go ahead and let us know.
It's actually Sunday in the Philippines right now, right? So you guys, don't skip your church online or kung ano man ang ginagawa nyo to be able to attend church. Go for it.
We got watching from Henderson, Nevada. Someone else, Scott says, I'm against the 1200 stimulus and any future stimulus. Let people go through the pain. This will be a good learning experience for the lazy. Well, it's not that people are lazy. People want to work, but they can't. The government shut them down. And it might not be a good thing, because there's probably going to be repercussions as a result. There could be inflation. This could be a bad thing, but it's almost like you don't have any other choice, because they forced people out of work, and now it's like they expect us to survive on $1,200 for when did the shutdowns begin? A couple months ago already, and many people like me haven't even gotten a penny yet. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing either. But, it's kind of, we're between a rock and a hard place right now. Ray says, hi and best wishes from Ray D'Alessandro in New Jersey. I've not been to New Jersey, but they have a lot of good wrestlers coming.
How are you?
We got Jason Jones in Kentucky. Ray says, I guess Bismarck sometimes gets fairly hot in the summer. Oh yeah, it can get well over 100 degrees, and then in the wintertime it can be 80 degrees below if you count the wind chill. So
I have to read this. Mang Kanor Midnight. My dad is from Calbayog and my mom is from Lawang. I have summer videos. Good. That's good.
I don't think I saw that. Okay, there. I see it.
Yeah. Well, we'll check it out. And do you want to go up, or have you?
No, they can keep typing in
Okay.
questions. Are you planning on staying there for a while, even after the lockdown is over? Yeah, yeah. Like I said, we actually kind of left on fairly short notice, and we had to rush to get everything in order so we could all come over as a family. Because I didn't have a lot of notice that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Apparently, they voted on it a year ago, but then they told my dad only like a month before the ceremony was going to happen. And so then we didn't have a lot of time to get everything in order, especially bringing our kid over. But thankfully, God made everything work out okay, and everything just fell into place. And then, like I said, it was such a huge blessing because we definitely wouldn't want to be in the Philippines now, so it was all perfect timing. And my dad, for years, he's like, why isn't Travis in the Hall of Fame? They've already inducted people that I've beaten in the Hall of Fame. Why am I not in there? But this was just the perfect timing for many reasons, actually. Number one is the obvious, because the whole world seemed to collapse after we left and got here, and we're in a much better place being here in North Dakota and being with my family. And even if this was the end of times, and I'm not saying it is, so don't quote me on that, I would rather have it happen where we can all be together as a family, me, my wife, my son, my parents. So I'd rather spend my last days, and I'm not saying that this is the last days. I'm not trying to doomsday anyone here. But speaking of doomsday, for years I was telling people, and I have this one really great video. It got over like 500,000 views, something like that. It's called Why You Should Not Move to the Philippines. And basically it was telling guys, especially if they're coming from a first world country like America, to the Philippines, because the reasons people give why they want to move there, they're usually things that you could actually have easier in the United States than moving to the other side of the planet, going to a foreign country. Things like, oh, I can live cheaper. Well, you can find lots of ways to live cheaper usually within the United States, especially if you move to some small town. Or, for whatever reason. And usually the reason is they want girls. Now, if that's the reason, just say so. But don't give me this snow job if I want these other things. But I used to call these guys the doomsdayers because some of these guys, they'd say, "Oh man, America's going down. America's over. It's fallen like it's gonna fall like the Roman Empire." Well, now I have saying to Imabel the other day, maybe these guys were right, but I still don't give them any credit, because they didn't have this great intuition or this great foresight that this was going to happen. Like I said, who amongst regular people, maybe if you're one of the elites, if you're in the Council on Foreign Affairs, or if you're part of the UN, maybe you knew about this. Maybe this thing was planned. It was either planned, or maybe they figured, hey, we can't let a good tragedy go to waste, so let's ruin the economy and set off all this other stuff so we can implement people getting computer chipped, one world currency, one world government, because they've been trying to move, but now this is like a way to accelerate and finally go over the hump, so to speak. But these guys that I was saying that are the doomsdayers, these guys were just bitter losers. That's their thing. And they wanted the country to fail. I don't want the country to fail. First of all, I love the United States. Even though I didn't live in the United States for many years, I still love the United States. And it's like they're so dumb that they don't understand if the United States falls and is no more, well, who do you think protects the Philippines? You're saying you want to move to the Philippines. What do you think would happen to the Philippines if they don't have it to protect it military-wise from China or whoever else? Especially because the Philippines relies not just on military from the United States, but there's aid, there's all kinds of other things. There's tourism, there's financial aid that America sends the Philippines is huge. But there's a lot of different things, and a lot of them want to go to America, but there's so many things that the Philippines is fairly dependent on the United States for, that it's going to be terrible for the Philippines if America falls. That would be like, it would destroy the Philippines probably. So why would you want that if you love the Philippines? You'd also want America to be in good shape, in good standing. Because they are actually pretty good allies. But I don't want to get off on that too much. Someone says, Sunday is complete lockdown in Manila. No one can go out with quarantine pass Monday.
Right.
I didn't hear that, but I haven't been paying that close of attention. It's a little hard for me to read these comments. Maybe I can move
the microphone.
I have the microphone in the way. That's why I'm having problems reading comments here. Ray says, Travis is young and healthy. He will live at least into his 80s. God willing.
God's amazing grace. Yes.
We
you
all
too, Ray.
None of us know when we're going to die, but we know we are going to die.
Yes.
So I think what's most important, or what I've realized is most important, is that we're prepared for where we're going to go afterwards, and we get everything in order.
We are but temporary citizens on Earth, because we have our eternal destination where we'll be spending eternity in.
Well,
we just have to make a decision where we'll spend it.
It's also like in that movie, there's that one scene where the guy was talking about when we die, we're going to stand there in judgment. And it's like if someone kills your mom and they go to court and they're in front of the judge, and the guy says, but I've done all these good things in my life. Do you want that person to be judged off the good things they did? Or do you want them to be judged off of the crime they committed, murdering your mom? And when we're there, we have to remember we're going to be judged not by our good deeds, but probably our bad deeds. So, and you just want to get all that stuff in order. So I've been working on that, especially over the past year since having a son. It's changed my life in ways that I probably can't even put into words. Now I know what true love is. I mean, and true love like that, it's something you can't even put into words. And that's why that movie last night, the movie we're talking about, if you're just tuning in, is called Courageous. And I don't want to give away what the movie's about, but essentially it's about being a father. I won't say anything beyond that, but every father should see it. If you're going to become a father in the near future, everyone should see it. Mom should see it. Like I said, I want to buy a bunch of the DVDs or Blu-rays.
Every single member of a family should see it.
And I want to give them out like anytime.
Any age.
Yeah, anytime. Whether it's Christmas time and someone needs a Christmas present, or their birthday, or even doesn't have to be something like that. You see someone struggling, you just give it to them and you say, hey man, check out this movie. Just check it out. And it's actually a pretty good movie despite being low budget and not having any well-known actors in it.
Yeah. I saw a comment, let me see. Duterte ended the visiting forces agreement. We are in the 180-day termination phase. Actually, the thing is, I remember that even after President Duterte did that, America has still been supporting the Philippines, has been helping the Philippines. Because if you go to the website of the U.S. Embassy, Manila, you'd see updates there, like how the U.S. has still been helping us, the Philippines.
It actually doesn't matter whether you have those agreements in place or not, because if someone invades, just for argument's sake, let's say Spain charges the shores. Obviously, it's not going to happen right now, but Spain charges the shores and they're like, we're coming back, revenge for Magellan or whatnot, and they said, we're going to occupy this. Who do you think is going to be the first people they call? They're going to say, hello, United States. Hey, we need a little help over here, friend. So I don't really believe those agreements particularly matter. A lot of that's just for political show. And a lot of things in politics are just for show. Doesn't matter whether you're talking about some foreign country or talking about the United States. That's why I try not to get involved too much in all that kind of drama.
One thing I've noticed now is that you would see people who are very supportive of what their leaders are doing, and you'd also see people who are against, who are criticizing what their leaders are doing. Personally, I don't do either, but mostly I'm on the side that would support in terms of like praying for the leaders. I can't really do anything from my end, but the best thing I could do for now is to pray for our leaders for strength, for wisdom, because where they are in right now is the toughest. This is like the toughest part of leading a country, of leading, whatever territory they're in charge.
Someone else here just says U.S. sent 2 warships to South China Sea to protect Philippines last week.
Oh, thank you, Byte and Able.
Well, there you go.
I see that.
And as someone, I guess I kind of didn't finish answering that question about would I run for office. I have to say this. During this time, I'm so thankful that I'm not in a position of responsibility to make those hard calls, because like a couple months ago, we watched this movie on TCM. Mm-hmm. It was one of the last movies that Tyrone Power made before he died. Yeah. It's called Abandoned Ship. It also has another title. But anyways, it's all these people. He's the captain, and they're all in a lifeboat. And he has to make hard decisions between who lives, who dies. Right. He has that responsibility weighing on him. And the theme of the movie is basically, the point is that it's good not to have that much responsibility. True. And now our leaders, definitely, they're in a very tough place, even though people are so critical, and sometimes rightly so. But the thing is, no matter what you do, you're going to be criticized for it. Not just politicians, but even us. If you're doing something on a big level, you're going to be criticized. Like the minister was talking about at your church, if you're going to be a minister, you're going to get lots of criticism. There's going to be people that like you as a preacher, people that don't. But these leaders, I'm just thankful that I'm not in a position of responsibility. So I don't, because like I said, they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place. We definitely, of course, need to open up the country, but also this is a real thing, and we don't really know a lot about it. Mm-hmm. So, especially when you get to the level like the state governors, even, especially of a smaller state like this, the establishment, or whatever you want to call them, they're not going to, I don't think they trickle it down to every governor, especially like the people that are running things. Kind of like in that movie Left Behind, like it's all at the head of the UN, or to quote George Bush, George H.W. Bush, the first one, the New World Order. If you look at his New World Order speech, which anyone can look up on YouTube, he wanted the UN to be basically the police of the world and control everything. That's right in his speech. Mm-hmm. George H.W. Bush, the first one.
Well, if you just try to think or try to analyze, you see, because of what's going on right now, economies of all countries in the world, are suffering. And
well, that's how they can get us on that cashless society, one world currency.
Right, and that's something I don't look forward to, and I all I could do is pray. One thing. This is one thing, because I would I share this with my friends and family, is that I can't even it kind of like slipped my mind. I was gonna say one exact thing, but it kind of slipped my mind. Go on, you first.
Live long and prosper. Is that what you're going to say? Oh, that's Mr. Spock that says that. But, maybe George Bush, he's dead now, of course, so he's not getting to see. Maybe he would be foaming at the mouth if he was alive, seeing like, we think that, it looks like it's coming to fruition now, that New World Order that they're hoping for.
Okay, go ahead.
But I wouldn't count us mere people out yet, because like I said, God has a way of turning things around. Things that look bad, when everything looks wrong, he can turn around things in an instant. So I wouldn't count us out yet. And I've been studying religion as my hobby for the past year, and in Christianity in particular, in Catholicism, a lot of people think that Christians are meek people and they can't fight, they're wimpy, they're weak, they're nerds. But if you look at Catholicism, especially our 2,000-year history that we have now, and by the way, of course, the Pope now, the head of the Catholic Church, he's one of the people pushing for that New World Order. But if you look at the history, we're a fighting people, and that's something that we're actually taught in our religion. We're taught that we're going to have to fight, not that we're going to escape pain and suffering. If you're a Catholic, you're supposed to be a fighter. Now, that could mean different things. It could mean a physical fight, like maybe this guy's hurting someone out here in the parking lot, and I have to do a physical fight with them. It could mean that. It could mean going out on a battlefield, doing something like that. So it could mean something physical. But for most people, what that actually means is either a spiritual battle of some kind, psychological. A lot of people, they're fighting off an addiction of some kind. They're fighting off forcing themselves to get out of gear and quit being a sloth or something like that, forcing themselves to get a healthier lifestyle. Maybe they're fighting some psychological pain, like a loss of a loved one. It could be something like that. So it can be all kinds of things, but you're supposed to be a fighter. So my attitude is, and people know me as a very positive, optimistic guy, which I still am. So I think that people should always put on a good cheer. And if we ever are called up to step up to fight, even if it's maybe a life and death fight, we step up and we have a good attitude and we're happy to be in that fight. And if you know something about winners, which I like to kind of consider myself, winners love a good fight, whether that's in the business world or the sports world or whatever. Winners love a good fight. So have a good attitude about that.
Well, as the cliche goes, winners never quit, quitters never win. Right? Okay. Anyways, I shared this thing I shared this post on Facebook. Whoever or whatever the entity is behind this pandemic, one of their goals must really be to depopulate.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
To curtail our human rights, to assemble, to gather, and many things. But of course, as this pandemic is going on, fear-mongering is out there.
And that's what the media wants. We're all kept in a state of constant fear.
We have to remind ourselves not to dwell on that. But how? Number one, we better choose what to feed our mind. On social media, on Facebook, you can't really, you'd see different posts, negative, uplifting, everything.
So they kicked me off of Facebook, so I'm not seeing it. I still have my fan page, which you can follow, but my personal page, they kicked me off. Let's move on to that
after this. But we really have to wisely choose what to feed our mind, what to read, what to watch, what to listen to. Because if we dwell or focus or keep feeding our minds with negative stories, negativities, and all that, they would really be successful in this fear-mongering, strategy, because fear is what drives people crazy, just panicking and all that. Because I think we talked once and I said the panic seems worse than the virus. Like, I know we have to be extra cautious, of course. You have to take good care of our health. Let's strengthen our immune system. But just worrying and being afraid, it's causing too much stress. And stress is not healthy.
You have a weak immune system.
Could ultimately the cause of your health to go bad.
Raymond says he's going to go eat his dinner. No, Raymond, you're just going to have to. Your dinner's going to have to wait just a little bit while longer. But
Raymond, what are you going to have for dinner?
Getting back to what you were saying, that's one of the things. The media, this is all they're talking about, and every day they're updating the death count and the case count. Never in the history of our country has anything been happened where they come on TV and they give you a count. It kind of reminds me of those billboards that you see in some cities where they're a digital billboard and the count is constantly going up, and that's people dying from smoking. It's kind of like that, but here they're scaring everyone, and it's like, this is what I think. They want to keep people in this constant state of fear. And it's also good for their ratings, too. They finally have something to talk about. But they're keeping people in a constant state of fear. And that is going to... If you're in a state of fear, you're going to be weakened, and your immune system's going to be weakened, but you're going to be a weak person, so you don't want to be in that state of fear. So when you watch these things, the news or where, it's like you're giving people the remote control to your mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like the pornography industry. And that's something I talk a lot about on my second channel. If you knew who's behind the pornography industry, what kind of disgusting people these guys are, and if you want to know who, I'm not going to say here on this channel, if you want to know who controls the pornography industry, you got to watch the second channel for that. But also the exploitation of women because a lot of those girls that get involved with it, they're people with psychological issues, often daddy issues. They were abandoned, but kind of like in that movie, like the problems when you have absent fathers and the exploiting women, but just letting those people into your mind, and you're poisoning yourself when you take that stuff in, when you take pornography into your mind. And a lot of people don't want to believe that. And you have the media like the New York Times fighting. They had an article that I told you about maybe 5-6 months ago now, where they wrote this article that if someone is against pornography, that Nazis are against pornography. And I was telling Imabel about that the New York Times did this article that Nazis are anti-pornography, and she said, now wait a minute, we don't really study Nazis in school in the Philippines. Now, but
not much. I don't remember having that discussed a lot.
But wait, she's like, but wait, the Nazis are the good guys, right?
Did I say that?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm like, well, you would think any rational person, if they hear these people are against pornography, then you're trying to tell us these are the bad guys? The people that are anti-pornography are the bad guys and the degenerates? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. But so you have the mainstream media, and there's all these articles, not just from them, that encourage people to watch pornography. But if you actually study this and you know what poison it is that people, especially young people, and all the problems it creates, people don't even realize. But if you look into it, hashtag look into it, like what Eddie Bravo would say. That's.
Let me just say hi to Jason Lemieux. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, really. Thank you so much. Yes, I still have a good amount of virgin coconut oil from the Philippines.
He sent you some, right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that.
So that's why he's asking about it.
And I'm glad that you had a great time in the Philippines before the lockdown.
I know Jason sent the coconut oil to Imabel, but I used a little bit of it myself. I dipped into it myself.
He asked, working and wrestling there now?
Well, all the high school season is over, which you saw the state championships. That was the end of it. Thankfully, in North Dakota, they had theirs earlier than a lot of other states. So that tournament went on, the state high school tournament. And that's where I was inducted into the Hall of Fame. But the college season, it was the 1 week before they were going to hold the national championships for college. They canceled it. Unfortunately, originally they said, okay, we're going to, and that was going to be Division I was going to be in Minneapolis where the Vikings play. It was going to be in that big stadium, and they were expecting a record turnout. First they said, okay, we're going to have the championships, but we're not going to allow any audience. Well, okay, fine, if this is really that serious thing and safety is important. But then they canceled it entirely, so that was a real bummer. And now normally they would be having freestyle and Greco tournaments and stuff, even for kids. But all that's been canceled or postponed. And my dad's wondering, every summer they hold for 17 and 18-year-olds and 15 and 16-year-olds, 15 to 18, the national championships for freestyle and Greco there in Fargo, North Dakota every year. And my dad usually goes out and he volunteers to work at the tournament and help out. He's wondering, are they going to have that this year? Which we went to that 2 years ago.
Yep.
When you were pregnant.
Right. That was Kate's first wrestling tournament while.
And first trip to Fargo.
In my tummy, yes. And the second trip was for the induction, your induction
at
in
the state Hall tournament.
Of Fame, Wrestling Hall of Fame. I just remember, Ray, we're really glad that you are doing well now. So.
Let me see. Jason Jones says, Travis, are you taking any supplements? And what is a good alternative to sit-ups? I want to keep my weight around 170. I feel healthier. Well, actually, my dad, I'm very good at this, but my dad is actually more of an expert. He was just coaching Imabel yesterday on how to do leg raisers properly, because a lot of people do leg raisers, which is a good ab exercise, especially for your lower abs. But a lot of people, they do it incorrectly, and some people get a sore back from it. You have to not arch your back, you have to round your back, and it helps to tuck your chin into the chest, so, and to engage your abs. So don't do leg raisers with an arched back, and that's what he was teaching Imabel. But I don't take any supplements currently. Sometimes I take vitamin supplements. Sometimes I might take some fiber supplements. I don't really do protein powders anymore because I try and just get that from meat and eggs. I eat a lot of chicken, eat some beef, eat a lot of eggs.
We just had beef earlier.
We just had hamburgers last night that my mom cooked. He wants to keep his weight around 70. I feel healthier at that weight. Well, the best thing you can do for that is probably running or walking, but at least walking. And some people, like my dad was talking about, there's all these studies and stuff. What are the best to keep weight off? Walking and running. Basically moving your body through space. So it could be dancing too. If you just enjoy dancing, notice dancers tend to get pretty lean and are usually don't have a lot of body fat. But basically you want to move your body through space, and if you can move it against gravity, that's even better. So walking or running uphill, which is also very low impact. Going downhill can be high impact, but going uphill is very hard but low impact. Going downhill is very easy, so you don't get a lot of benefit from it, but it's also hard on your joints. But walking or running is the best. And diet, of course. Speaking of coconut, there's nothing better than coconut water from a fresh young coconut. Nothing I've ever tried in a bottle or frozen. Yeah, sometimes when I'm in the Philippines where they have lots of that and street vendors with it, coming out of a workout, it's a great recovery drink.
We call it buko. Buko, I miss buko. Yum yum. Rich in electrolytes.
Yeah, it's nature's Gatorade without all the added sugar and stuff.
Right.
Raymond says, was your dad a bodybuilder? Yeah, he was. I'm a state champion wrestler, multiple time state champion wrestler. My dad is a state champion bodybuilder. So that's true.
You could check out our vlogs of videos.
We show some of that.
Dad being a bodybuilder and him talking about
some of his bodybuilding photos and his competitions and such.
And a lot of insights and helpful tips to stay healthy and
I have
fit.
a video. It was my last video I did for a while. I think it's called My Last Video. It was from our last video in North Dakota a couple of years ago. And we talk about some of his bodybuilding and show some of his old photos in that. But yeah, my dad was a North Dakota state champion bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And drug-free too.
Right. You're right.
So, what other comments are going by?
Did we miss anything? Like if you wanna move?
Someone says, best exercise is the push away. Push away from the table.
Push away from the table.
Yeah, that's good advice too.
What if you don't eat on a table? You eat.
What if you?
That's a good tip, Bruce. Yeah.
So, but maybe we should round it up. This stream's been going, I think, about an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, before we go, since we were talking about fear and stuff, I just want to share with you. I don't know. I am a Christian. I don't know if all of you are Christians, but I'm not trying to tell you to believe what I believe. But considering that I experience how it is to have a personal relationship with Jesus, with God, it has blessed me so much, and I know it is blessing you too if you are a Christian. And if you're not a Christian yet, why don't you start a relationship with God? Because it's a great blessing. It's priceless. And in this challenging times, that is the best thing that we could do. Speaking of fear, this is what I want to share. It's from 2 Timothy 1:12. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline.
Good advice. I see a good question that came in that I should answer before we go. Did you ever get in trouble in your younger life? And the answer to that is, it's funny because Imabel asked my dad this, how much trouble I was as a kid. Did I ever get in any trouble in my younger years? The answer is no, not really. I really didn't. My parents, they were very strict, but not in a harsh way. Not like they're slave drivers cracking the whip or anything like that.
They didn't beat you.
Yeah, they didn't beat me. Like they didn't make threats. Nothing like that. So they were strict, but like I said, not in a harsh way. And I really didn't get in trouble as a kid. Not too much, anyways. Couple times, but pretty minor. Though I did get in trouble my first few weeks in high school. I can't go into the stories here. These are long stories in themselves. But basically, I was an innocent guy. But at one point, the assistant vice principal, she was threatening to kick me out of Bismarck High, to expel me from the entire school because she said I was such a troublemaker. I was falsely accused, though, especially, well, both times. But the one time, well, let's just say this, especially having a female vice principal, I think if a guy was dealing with me, I'd like to hope it was a little different. I found out being a white guy, being a white male, when you're accused of something, you're guilty until proven innocent. And if it's someone's word against you, kind of funny, I'm this racist Nazi guy that was, one of the things I got in trouble for was making racist comments to an Indian girl. Didn't happen, by the way. Whole thing was totally made up. Here I am sitting with a non-white person. Kind of funny for a guy that's this crazy racist guy that's going around making racial comments to people. The whole thing didn't happen. For that incident, and like I said, I can't get into these incidents too much because they're long stories, but to this day, I have no idea why this girl reported me and said that I made racist comments to her when I didn't say anything to her. The whole thing didn't happen.
Maybe she just had a crush on you.
That's the only thing. It sounds very vain and narcissistic to say that. Well, anyone that doesn't like me is in love with me.
For teenagers, I don't know.
Anyone that hates me is in love with me.
But she went that far.
Yeah, but I have no idea to this day. It's kind of like I was telling you, too. There was this other girl that lived up the street, a white girl. That was a year older. Good-looking girl. But she was a year older than me. But she was always so darn mean to me. And I couldn't figure it out. Like, this girl's, pretty and everything and popular. But why is she so mean to me? I couldn't figure it out. And when she was a senior at Bismarck High, she got a boyfriend. And then it dawned on me, it must be because she likes me. Because when I saw the guy she took as her boyfriend, I'm like, this little dweeb? Of course, because some people, especially young people, when they like someone, they act out because they don't know how to express, especially Americans in the Philippines, this is less of a thing. But kids here sometimes, they want to pick on someone or be mean to someone that they like. It's like reverse psychology. I don't want that person to know, so I'm going to be mean to them. But that other girl that lived up the street, I was thinking she must have a crush on me because this guy that she got as a boyfriend, well, he's a little dweeb. He's a little nerd. I'm like, this guy? So I'm like, because I know I'm studlier than this guy. But my mom is in the room.
Okay, Mom.
Thank you. I didn't hear what was going on.
They can't hear the volume. But maybe it's
Can you guys hear the volume? These guys seem to be able to hear.
Mom, do you want me to take Cade?
No, he was sleeping.
Okay, thank you, Mom.
My mom just made an appearance there. So, but, yeah.
If Uncle Craig is watching. Hi, Uncle Craig.
So, like, my dad's cousin, who you saw in one of our vlogs, he's trying to watch, but he says he's having problems with the volume. I don't know if that was on the Facebook stream or if it's
Jason,
here.
were you talking American Indian or also John Doe asked East Asian Indian?
Well, that's funny you should ask because at the time, this is going back not too long ago, North Dakota, until fairly recently, North Dakota was not a multicultural place. Now you come here, I don't even recognize it anymore. They have black people, they have Asians, they have Latinos here, they have everything here. If you saw that last video, that we have that one woman from China that we talked to a little bit in the restaurant in that previous vlog, which hopefully everyone watched. But yeah, until when I lived here, before I went away for college, North Dakota was not a multicultural place. Basically, we only had white people here, and then our one minority were American Indians. So I was talking about an American Indian girl. But yeah, like now it's not like that at all. It's multicultural. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of our personality and our character and what made North Dakota unique, I think. Because now it's like you can go to any moderate-sized city in America. It looks like this. They're like multicultural, but all the businesses, McDonald's, Hardee's, Starbucks, all these multinational corporations. You don't see any of that personality or uniqueness that we used to have in places around America, where you'd go from one town to the next, and they all kind of had their charm, their appeal. They had their people. But now it's just McDonald's, and it's not that I know I've sounded so anti-corporation. I don't want to be a hypocrite here. Look, I enjoy corporations too. We got Burger King the other night.
And you like it.
McDonald's, I'll go to these places, sometimes, but I also want other options, and I want small businesses to thrive and stuff like that. I want the mom and pop restaurants to thrive and have their own unique stuff. But, and even speaking of it not being multicultural, when I lived here, there's a school right over here, Rita Murphy Elementary School, close by, which is where I went to elementary school. And when I went there, we didn't even have Indians. I was telling Imabel there the other day. I think it was all white kids. And not only was it all white kids, I think there was hardly a non-Catholic in the entire school. So, I know this because going to CCD on Wednesday night, we have school during the day. Then if you're a Catholic as a kid, you have to go to something called CCD on Wednesday night. It's a religious classes. But you go to CCD on Wednesday night, and the entire school that you saw during the daytime, they're at the religion class. So, but it was definitely a great place, and it's funny too because I saw this map, and I don't know how accurate or updated it is. It had the second most common spoken language after English, and for the entire United States now, it was Spanish in every state except, I think, 3. North Dakota, South Dakota, and Hawaii. And maybe Alaska was in there. But it was only like a few like that where the second most common spoken language after English was not Spanish. North Dakota is one of those. But I think it probably is Spanish now in North Dakota. So, but that's why if you watched that one video I did a couple years ago in Strasburg, North Dakota, it was something... And that actually went viral on Facebook. Now, it didn't get many views on YouTube, but on Facebook it went viral. But that was an attempt to kind of preserve the uniqueness of our culture and our heritage here in North Dakota, doing something local. And the local people on Facebook made it viral because they really appreciated someone going out. And it was nice for a change to be kind of considered like a hometown hero for doing something nice, because I've done all these videos featuring other cultures because I like learning about other cultures and showing that in videos. But it was nice to do something about our own culture, our own background, where my grandparents are from. So.
Well, that reminds me, when I was a kid and I used to see movies or TV shows about America or just showing neighborhood in America, that made me, that kind of sowed a seed in me. Sowed the seed of desire in me to want to visit America, because it's just really very lovely to look at. And now, thank God.
Well, you had an opportunity when you were young, actually, to go to America.
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to be an exchange scholar through the Rotary Club, but I was already third year high school, and then so only 1 year to go for me, and it's like graduating in my school meant being in the honor roll and, you know, getting all these awards, which I know would make my parents happy and my family happy. And if I come here, that will be a different story. But I really wanted to do that. But, well, we ended up not doing that.
Well,
and
it happened in God's time. If
Yes,
you would have came over at a younger age,
maybe we would not have met.
We probably wouldn't have met. You probably would have just stayed. You'd be married to some other guy, have kids with some other guy like
so
that.
It's all
have your
God's
family and
perfect
husband with
plans
someone else. Yeah.
in God's perfect time.
Someone says there are Catholics in North Dakota. How did that happen? Well, what did you expect? Like in America, there's a lot of Catholics, especially in the northern half of the country, but definitely North Dakota. I'd never met, like I said, we were not multicultural. We didn't even have different religions or denominations, really. I didn't really meet a non-Catholic pretty much until I was about 16 years old. And I didn't even know other religions existed besides Catholicism. Because like I said, growing up here, that's really all we had at that time. And now, of course, you go to a non-denominational church, there's Baptist churches. I don't even know a lot of these other. Yeah,
born again Christian. But that's what I am.
The minority, the only other one that we had besides Catholicism back then, our minority was it's something called Lutheran, which that's like the original Protestantism. That's what Martin Luther, who broke away from the Catholic Church and started Protestantism. That's his thing.
That's going to be another long topic.
A long history lesson. And then people broke away from him and they became Baptists, evangelicals. What are the other ones? There's literally thousands of them.
History would tell you, all these information, but personally, the bottom line is what's important is your personal relationship with God. You can go to church, but do not really have that spiritual health that you have to have.
Oh yeah, even like my mom.
But going to church is also important because it's being in fellowship with other believers. We are designed to be in fellowship with other people, with other children of God.
Well, it's important for a lot of reasons, but I remember one day after my mom went to your church, because Imabel goes to her church. My parents, they go on Saturdays traditionally, and then, but lately my dad at least...
Saturday Mass.
Mass. He goes to Sunday morning with you at your church. So going to church twice, which I don't think the Catholic Church really wants, but I don't think they're listening into this conversation, so who knows. But
I'm sure they give you freedom. Well, I did that before I finally decided to become a Christian. Well, Catholics are Christians. I mean, to become a born-again Christian, I had to go to hear Mass, and right after that I went to the church to attend the service because I wasn't sure about it yet.
Well, my mom commented a day after going to your church, she went to your church with you and my dad and me, and she said the people there seem so much happier than at our church. We go to our church, which is one of the Catholic churches in town, and she said people often don't seem very happy to be there. You go to Imabel's church and everyone's greeting you and they're all very happy to be there. So that was an interesting observation that my mom made.
Going to church is something that I look forward to every week. And it's sad that we couldn't do it now physically, but I'm so thankful that
just when I was really getting into going to your church here in Bismarck.
Yeah, through online services. There's a funny comment from Ray, from NJ, by D'Alessandro. I remember CCD. Long story, but I got smacked by the nun with a ruler.
Oh, well, actually, when I was going to CCD, they didn't have any nuns or priests around. It was all regular people that were volunteering to teach it. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have, it's kind of like Catholic schools now. They're usually the teachers are not nuns and priests. But when I was growing up going to CCD, we didn't even have nuns or priests around usually. It was just regular people that would volunteer to teach the classes. So, I suppose, do you have anything else before we call it a night?
Well, I already shared what I wanted to share with you guys. And were you gonna invite them to watch out for the new vlog?
Yes, but make sure you watch the previous one where we fly over here to America. It's going to be the continuation of that, so make sure you watch the previous one first. The one that I'm releasing should be out tomorrow, and like I said, I'll probably try and do it as a premiere so we can have a little chat going live at the same time, and I'll watch it live, like a little watch party. So watch out for that. It should be out, I think, probably around 7 o'clock Central Time, which I think is 8 a.m. Philippines time right now, something like that. But I'll try and release it probably around 7 p.m. Central Time.
Well, I watched a preview of it, and I was telling Travis, I could see like a good before and after shots. Before of me, I was really thin. And then the latter part of the vlog surely showed like I gained weight, and I'm thankful for that.
Well, she's like a little self-conscious because she's very skinny by the time she got to North Dakota, and I said, you can explain this to people, because most people don't know. When women, and I found this out myself just through experience, I think you found it out, you didn't know, but when women breastfeed, it takes a ton of calories. I mean, and it will make you lose weight like crazy. And Imabel, she wasn't like really fat before she gave birth, but having a kid glued to you almost 24 hours a day for the first 6 months, and then quite frequently after that constantly, I mean, it made her very skinny. So she's a little underweight. She's coming up. She's trying to lift and trying to get her to drink her milk, which is good, nutritious, good, wholesome, nutritious calories. And you pump that with the weights, and you should get that back a little bit, that good, healthy weight that you want back.
Well, actually, before Cade came, I was working out, and then I just stopped working out because when I was already pregnant. So I'm glad that I started working out again. It really feels good. And I was telling Travis, how come I know breastfeeding mothers, they're not skinny? And then she told me because they were not.
For one thing, a lot of women, they go back to work after 2 or 3 months, so they're like, it wasn't like you for 6 months they had a kid constantly glued to them. But so there's that factor. Most women don't breastfeed as long as you or as much as you. Maybe they also mix in some formula in the meantime. For 6 months, it was almost exclusively breastfed.
Well, I'm still breastfeeding Kate.
And she's still breastfeeding.
And I'm thankful that I'm still able to do it. Yeah. Well, I guess I remember a few people I know, the breastfeeding moms, they were not really skinny before they got pregnant, so I guess it's just their normal.
Yeah, and they started out heavier.
Their normal state.
So, but we'd better go take care of that kid. John Doe asks, Bismarck is named for Otto von Bismarck of Prussia. Yup, that's who it's named after.
Ray, we're gonna say hi to Mom and Dad for you. Thank you.
So, thank you guys. Thanks for joining us. Watch out for that video coming tomorrow.
Thank you guys for joining us. If we're not able to send a shout out to you and specifically mention your name, sorry, but we really appreciate your time. Hopefully we can do this again with you guys. God bless you all.
One last thing, comment came in from RVDECW. Are you in the US or back in the Philippines? Watch tomorrow's video. But first, watch the previous vlog. All right, God bless. Goodbye.